It was good. It was nice to see a couple goals from players that hadn't scored in a while with Cynthia and Trinity. So it was a good win. 2-0 is always a good score to finish. You give yourself that cushion in case you make a mistake. So it was good. I was glad to see that we didn't just get the one goal and then say, okay, let's just try and shut it down and play defense, because clearly we had Texas Women's on the back foot, and I thought our game plan worked really well against what they were trying to do. It gives me confidence in our ability. I think that if you are just going to go for one goal and try and do just one better than the other team, you're really not trying to have your performance potential. You're just trying to beat the other team 1-0, which is fine. If you get the W, it's good. But I think that what we want from our players is a little bit more. We want them to play to their performance potential, not just the outcome of the game. And so if they're doing that, we're going to win more games. And it's not about trying to run up a score or anything like that, or max goals or anything like that. It's just about trying to get the best out of them that they're capable of giving. And so that's really what we're trying to do yesterday. Well, I can't say for sure what Eastern will do. We played them Friday night. Eastern was one of the teams that did a very good job of minimizing our potency in attack. So that'll be something that they may try and replicate again. For us, I think we just need to be better up front. I thought that in the defense, I thought we did a good job for the most part. I thought there were a few times early on in the game where we gave up some easy shots in around the goal that if we gave those up again, I wouldn't be surprised if we give up a goal. So I think we need to do a little bit better defensively against them. And I think that attacking-wise, again, probably on shooting opportunities, we need to probably, again, be a little bit more precise. Even yesterday we outshoot women's 23-3 or something like that. And again, we get 2 goals. It's good, but that percentage still just doesn't sit right with me. It's not enough. Overall, the number of opportunities that we've created for our players to score goals, I think, has been really good. I mean, I don't know exactly what that number is, but I think it's got to be close to double the number of shots that we've had compared to our opposition. But I think the number of goals maybe is not quite as high as I'd like it to be. I think that defensively, I think we've done a pretty good job of minimizing goals against. And for us, I think maybe one of the things we want to concentrate on is the last 15 minutes of the match. I think that that's where we've given up probably too many goals so far this season. So we want to kind of eliminate some of those little errors, some of those little things. We'll probably have some small tweaks against certain opponents that we'll try for the second half of the season, and hopefully come away with results to boost our standings and hopefully increase our seeding within the conference. Good. I mean, I think that with our younger players, we brought them in and we hope that we could give them some experience throughout the season. I don't think I planned on giving them as much experience as they have, but I think that some of them have done a very good job. I think that there are still some that we'd like to see some more from in order for them to increase their role within the team. But overall, I've been pretty pleased with some of the freshmen, where they're at and what they're contributing on the field and off the field. This group has been part of something very special. Starting in 2013, that was our first conference championship. It was a co-championship with Midwestern. In 14, had another good season. 15, won the conference championship on our own. We've been to the national tournament 2 out of those 3 years. So I think that they've definitely put a lot into the program, and we want to finish with 2 wins this weekend to kind of, not just for them, but for the team. Like I said, I don't think we've won on a Friday yet at home. And so really we just want our team to get the 2 wins, and hopefully the seniors will do their part to help with that.
Well, it's always good for the kids to get a show where they are in front of their teammates. Our track team will work the meet, so they'll have some little bit extra cheering section, and that always excites them. Being that it's 10 days from the conference meet, they're excited too. We hadn't raced in about 3 weeks, so we're ready to get out and perform well at home. Well, it's really important mentally, just to let them know where they are, but more importantly, physically. It's a chance to get out and do something at full speed conditions, and 10 days out is usually a pretty good time to do that for a big meet. I think we've come a long ways. I think we'll really get to be able to tell. We're going against Tarleton, who won the women at conference last year and was second on the men. So when we duel them on Tuesday, we'll get to see where we are in the conference. Kind of what Chuck touched on, the travel is the biggest part. It's tough to sit on a bus for hours and get off and go try to run a 8K or 6K race. So the fact that they get to sleep in their own beds and stay on their regular class schedules is the biggest part of it. Yeah, I think for us it's beneficial to take some weeks off, because you get to increase your training load. You get to work them a lot harder without having to factor in rest after a meet. So for us, it's not about meshing with your teammates so much. So the time off really isn't really rough on us. It's really pretty good. I think our newcomers are making big strides. We're looking for Valerie Gandera, who's been our number 3 runner, to really make big strides this week. She's going to be important for us at the conference meet. If she can get up and get in the mix as our number 3 runner, our girls' team's going to be a lot better.
Yeah, 2 wins on the road mid-year, against when you get to conference play, everybody knows what you do. We all watch a lot of film. Everybody's pretty familiar. A lot of teams do similar things year in and year out, So a road win is always a good win. We came up with 2 last weekend. We played pretty well. I was very happy with our level of play. We swept both matches and played like a front runner, a team that's ahead in the standings should play. I don't know about that. I think we're still working hard to get better. We played some pretty good teams early on in the year and set a standard, and every week we're trying to raise that standard, in our practice gym and what we're trying to do. So I feel like we're getting better. I feel like some of the things we're working on in practice are starting to carry over into matches, and it's showing up in our performance, but I don't feel like we're where we need to be yet. So I'm glad. It means I get to work a little bit harder this week, which is what I want to do, So, but I'm pleased where we are, but I know where we want to be. So there's a little more work to do. Yeah, absolutely. As a coach, if you don't feel like there's areas you can get better at, you're probably not doing very well at your job, because there's always something you can get better at. And our team, we've got some definite strengths, but there's some things that hurt us, in every match that we've got to make sure that we're prepared for. Well, one of the things you want to do is you want to play at a consistent level, and that's something that I felt like we did pretty well. We raised our level of play. We did not. It didn't matter who the opponent was. We were going to play at a certain level and keep our level there, so that we could continue to compete. What you don't want to see at this point in the year is that ebb and flow, that up and down, and I felt like we were pretty consistent the whole way through, both matches. Every day is a challenge, that's why we focus on getting better every day. There was an article that, a group asked Mallory about why she came here. It's because she can continue to learn, and that's what our gym environment's all about, what our culture's about. Is we're learning every day, we're getting better every day. So we don't ever have that stagnant feeling, in the gym, because there's something else that we're trying to get better at. Yeah, this Friday is our Dig Pink event. I know soccer had their pink on the pitch on Sunday, which was pretty cool. I like their jerseys. They were pretty nice. And we do something similar. We'll sell T-shirts all week out of the athletic offices here and at the match on Friday at 7. We also auction off our jerseys. We have special, we kind of wear them twice a year. We wore them last weekend, and we'll get to wear them next weekend. And then people basically buy them right off our backs. They go change, bring them out. Here's a nice sweaty jersey for you. It's pretty cool. But everything that we raise, all the funds that we raise, go to the Sat Out Foundation for breast cancer research. And, we try to raise between $2,000 and $3,000 every year, and hopefully we can do that again this year. But again, it's this Friday. We sell T-shirts for $15 each all week long. The picture of that T-shirt's on our website, I'm pretty sure. If you want to bid on a jersey, just shoot me an email and I'll get you connected. They've beaten some teams this year in our conference, because travel's a factor this year for everybody. When you have to drive 10 hours or 6 hours between matches between Eastern and Western New Mexico, travel is becoming a factor. And we play back-to-back. You don't have much time to rest. So they're going to travel 10 hours to play here, and, we're going to welcome them with a tough match. That's all I can say. They have a great coach. They recruit pretty well. I know that they'll be prepared for us.
I think it's huge, just for our confidence level to win 2 in a row, to win 1 at home and at homecoming for our kids and our fans, and to keep that momentum going that we built back in Kingsville. And so that's something that we need going into our game against Midwestern. Yeah, I think so. Our kids talked about just having the confidence, knowing that. If we do get behind, what the offense did 2 weeks ago against Kingsville, to come back from behind and go and score, that just helps everyone. And so our defense knows if something happens, it goes bad, we give up a touchdown, something like that the offense is going to answer. And so our team's playing with a lot of confidence right now, and those are things that we got to build on. Obviously, we had a couple of mistakes on Saturday that shouldn't have made. Some by Carson, and then some on defense getting up some long passes. But those are things that we can correct going into this week. Well, it just, we put two together. Our kids know that we're right back in the race, and a lot of things can happen in the Lone Star Conference just based on each team. And so our guys know that we control our own destiny. If we keep winning, great things will happen. But we got a huge test with Midwestern this week, number 4 team in the country, and so we're gonna have to play our best game this season. Well, I think it goes back to Carson and his ability to run the ball. I think now you got 2 threats back there, and so you can't really focus your attention on Josh now. And so I think that opens up some more things for Josh from that standpoint. But our guys up front are doing an unbelievable job, and you see our receivers blocking well downfield. It's a whole team effort. But Josh had a great game. Even Trey Green, when he came in, hit some big runs that kept our drives going. And so those are things that we got to build on, because we're going to have to run the ball to be able to compete with these teams coming up. And so those are things that we'll keep working on, and hopefully we'll have some new wrinkles going into this week. Well, that's Coach Gaskamp and I go ways back when he coached, and that's the first thing he said when we talked this week is who's number 43, and he's a freak, and he's got such a quick get off the line of scrimmage. It makes it difficult for those guys to block him. And so we saw them really putting a running back and an offensive tackle on him, but Marcus has got that relentless effort, and he continues the pursuit of the quarterback and got a lot of them from behind. Actually missed one towards the end of the game that probably would have helped get him the player of the week if he would have had it. Well, I think we balance. I hope we balance up well. But our kids have a lot of confidence right now. Obviously, Midwestern's doing some things that if you don't take care of responsibilities, they're going to hit with big plays. We see that against their game against Kingsville. But our guys are focused, and they're excited about the challenge, playing a top 5 team in the country, and to see where we're at. Well, I hope so. Coming off a big win against Commerce, winning at the last second, hopefully those guys are very confident and overlooking the Rams. With us sitting at 3-3 on the year, they probably don't think that we're as good as what we've shown, and so hopefully they'll overlook us a little bit. But we're in the same situation a couple of years ago, playing against Midwestern when I think we were 6th in the country and had a little falter. So our kids are hungry to do the same thing to them. Yeah, it's for us, I think it's fun because we're have a chance to go in there and shock everyone else. No one's, I would think, outside of our locker rooms giving us much of a chance, and so our kids understand that, and they relish in being the underdog, and we're going to go out there and we're going to swing and see what happens. Well, huge. Anytime you play in a team that's a high-powered offense like Midwestern, which they can score very quickly, hopefully our offense will be able to control the ball and have long drives and keep our defense off the field.